Hey folks, it is the Weekend Therapist and I'm back with another video. Today, I want to talk about trauma bonding, but not just in the way that the internet sometimes sensationalizes it, but from a perspective of information that may be helpful for you to identify it. Now, let's start with some base definitions here. Trauma, as defined by the DSM, which is our diagnostic criteria, is a perceived or actual threat. Well, first, it's an event that involves a perceived or actual threat that elicits an extreme emotional response. That is trauma. Now, typically in relationships where there are some form of abuse, there can be a bond that's created between the abuser and the abused, i.e., the bond. However, what we do know is that that bond occurs over time. It builds, it becomes stronger over time. So when people say, well, why didn't such and such just leave? A lot of times it's to do with the bond that has been created. Now, part of crisis intervention training and crisis intervention education is that we talk about a term called battered wife syndrome or battered woman syndrome. Although gendered, I would say battered person syndrome because anyone can experience the cycle of abuse that could ultimately result in them having a bond with their abuser. And you may say, oh my God, why? Well, because there is this honeymoon phase that happens before the fever pitch of the abuse, and then you cycle back through a lull, and then it starts over and over again. And the abused, in many cases, start to believe that they need their abuser or that they are reliant on their abuser or that they themselves cannot survive without their abuser. Now, how does this relate to everyday people? First, let's think about things that you know that are not necessarily good for you. However, you continue to overcompensate for, to minimize, to devalue the negative effect on you. What kind of bond is that creating? And with that, take care of yourselves. Peace.